All right, so today we're going to talk about closing the project, one of my favorite things because we're done, right, as project managers. So again, as today, like always, we're going to have a conversation in the class, and if we don't have an interactive class, I'm going to pick on people to participate. All right, so today we're actually going to be talking about formulating the project closeout, closing out the project, which is fantastic, closing out the procurements, and procurements are from
Vendors?
vendors. Yeah, so when we talk about procurements, remember we always talk about vendors and suppliers. Balancing stakeholders' interests at project close. We're going to show some stuff on the board. The professional responsibility of being a PMP, and then making sure that you're applying your professional knowledge. All right, so formulating project closeout. So we're going to go over to the board in a minute, but this is where risk is lowest. So let's look over here at the board, and we've got a document over here that says this is our project risk. So as risk goes up, we're in execution, monitoring, and control process. So as time goes on in your project, risk is small in the beginning. So why is risk small in the beginning?
Because you really haven't done anything or committed a whole lot.
Right, so you really haven't done too much. Very good. So as you're going through the planning phase, risk increases. So why is that?
Well, you're committing more and more organizational resources from the different knowledge areas.
Right, so that means more money's being spent, right? And then as we get up into execution, it's the highest because that's when we're actually executing the project, committing our resources. And then as we decrease, we're going into monitoring and control because we're validating that things are working appropriately. We're ensuring that the risk is, becoming more and more minimal. And as we get into closeout, it's the smallest. So why would it be the smallest at the closing of the project?
Because you would have addressed all the issues already and the risk issues and spent all the money already. So there's no great dangers generally.
That's very good. That's correct. Okay, so we're also going to talk about stakeholder involvement at the end of the project. So as time goes on, we've got our initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and control, and closeout phases. So as planning, we start here at the conception of the project. But as soon as we go into planning, stakeholder involvement is pretty high. So why is that?
The stakeholders have a significant input into the whole success of the plan, and so you would want to get them and address them as early as possible and then involved before you actually do anything. Right,
so we're actually gathering requirements up here, right? We're asking them, why is this important, right? We're also saying, what are the milestones that have to be met in order to make sure that we are meeting your objectives over here in monitoring and controlling, right? So as we're going through, stakeholders are very, very involved in the planning. They're telling us everything that needs to happen. And then we go through execution, and their commitment's getting a little bit less, and in monitoring and control it's even less because we are looking at what they said in the plan. Remember our plan documents? We're looking at what they said, and they said we have to have so much of X capacity in order to be successful, right? So we're in the monitoring and control, we're going back to what they said in the plan and validating, is that correct? And then on the closeout, it's the least. And why is that?
You've hopefully fulfilled all your promises to the stakeholders, and they are pretty much almost finished with that particular, their importance in the project, I guess.
Yep, that's correct. So at closeout, we've already committed to what they've said is important in the plan, what they've executed on. We've determined and verified that through monitoring and control that we're meeting their objectives. And then in closeout, it's literally, this is what we've done. This is how we've met your objectives through the monitoring and control process. And now we're literally saying, do you accept this project as it is? Now again, we've talked about this throughout the course. And a lot of times in the closeout, you have some stakeholders that maybe haven't been very active in your project, right? And sometimes you have some issues over here, so it's good for your PMs to have those good leadership qualities that we talked about in Chapter 10 and Chapter 11. All right, so the least stakeholder influence is what we already talked about, and then the project manager has the most influence, and why would that be at this point in closeout?
Well, almost everyone else probably has done all their work and accomplished a lot of their objectives, but the project manager still has to close on the project and and lessons learned and all those kind of things.
Very good, yes. So the project manager actually has the most influence because of all the things that you mentioned. But this is where they are going through and they're reviewing all of their plan documents. They're going through and saying, this is what we executed on. These were all the change requests. This is what we did through a monitoring and control aspect because of what was asked in the planning phase, right? And now they're actually going and preparing all the documents and making sure that we have everything we need to complete the project.